Hello and welcome to Derby for the second ODI between England and New Zealand. The sun's shining and we're looking forward to a great day's cricket. Sid, this is a little bit in contrast to when we were here last year for the World Cup.
Yeah, the day that we were here was a New Zealand game as well. It was New Zealand versus South Africa, and it rained horribly and the outfield turned into a big lake, and the game was never played, so there was no play at all. It went down in the scorebooks as a draw and possibly contributed to New Zealand going out of the World Cup.
Yeah, because they would have hoped to get the points from that match, wouldn't they? But their experiences of Derby during the World Cup didn't really improve from that moment.
No, they didn't. They lost both their other matches here. They lost to England, and then in the final match, which was their virtual quarter-final with India, they did not have fun at all, did they, Raf? They lost rather horribly.
They did, absolutely. So they won't be having great memories of this ground, whereas England's memories are perhaps a bit better.
Well, yeah, England obviously beat New Zealand in their game here, and England obviously looking to repeat that today. I guess one question is, New Zealand certainly were very disappointing in the first ODI. Will England be secretly hoping that New Zealand are a bit better today, maybe?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting question. I mean, obviously, from England's perspective, it was a great all-round performance in that first match, and they've had really, great success against New Zealand as well in the T20 matches in the Tri-Series. They bowled them out in both of those matches that they played, and then did really well against them in the final as well. So that's great, particularly from an England fan perspective, but perhaps they might have been hoping for something a bit more competitive, especially in terms of leading up to the T20 World Cup, something that was a bit more of a warm-up.
Yeah, I think that Mark Robinson will be hoping that New Zealand provide a bit more of a challenge to England today in order to really test the players and to really put them under pressure, because they certainly weren't put under really any pressure in that first ODI.
And we've had an interesting press release through from New Zealand overnight involving Amelia Kerr, haven't we? Yeah,
New Zealand released a press release saying that Amelia Kerr has new deliveries in her armoury and she might just be bringing them out against England. So what's going on with this, Raf?
A little bit of psychological warfare maybe going on there. Not quite sure what to make of it. It'd be interesting whether we see anything particularly special today. I mean, I have been really impressed by her. She's young, and there is variation there, and she has bamboozled Sarah Taylor twice in the course of 6 days with her googly, and if you can bamboozle one of the best batsmen in the world, then the only way is up, I suppose.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt that she's a fantastic prospect. We just saw her going out to the nets to have a bat, and I think that's, if anything, that's where her real challenge is now, to kind of turn it on with the batting and prove that she can be an all-rounder, because despite her young age, she's already proved that she's a world-class bowler and that she can deliver there. So, New Zealand's issue has been batting. They'll be really hoping that she can step up with the bat as well, in order to try and challenge England today and try and actually put some runs on the board, which they haven't done so far.
Okay, and what about the England team? Will we see some changes? We think we're going to see Anya Shrubsole back into the side after she was ruled out from the first game with that low-level side strain. They seem to think she'd be fit for today's match, so presumably she'll be back in the side as a replacement for...
Well, Katie George was the obvious person. Katie George was explicitly brought in for Anya, so you'd think that Katie George will probably miss out unless there's another issue somewhere else along the line. And then we've also seen Danny Wyatt this morning, so we think that she might be back, right?
Yep, the news seems to be that she's back with the squad available for selection, so presumably she'll be back in the side, and I guess that will mean that Lauren Winfield will miss out, which in a way is a bit of a shame. She didn't really get a chance to do very much in the last match, did she?
She didn't get a chance to do very much. She didn't do much wrong either. She scored, 9 off 6 balls, something like that. She did the job that she had to do, coming in right at the end. But, Danny Wyatt's the kind of player in possession of that position at the moment, and I think that England will certainly be bringing her back if she's available, so I'll be very surprised if we don't see her today.
Okay, all right, well, thanks very much. Looking forward to the game today.